English. It's all in English. It's the same as in UK. Once a week in school you can learn French, or once a week Spanish. Now that monument there, it's the evacuation during the war. For the women, kids, elderly people, they were all evacuated to other British overseas territory during the war, Second World War. We got our own hospital in front of us. That's our hospital there, Bunnets Hospital. This is Morrison's, and behind Morrison we got McDonald's. Now the first stop we're going to do, it's at Europa Point, and there you will see a mosque, you will see the lighthouse, and you're going to have a view of, maybe, a view of the coast of Morocco. When we go up the hill, I'll show you where the Trafalgar cemetery is. The Battle of Trafalgar was in 1805. It was the British against the Napoleon fleets near the coast of Cadiz. That's the cemetery there. And there is a nice painting of the Trafalgar War on your left-hand side.
Behind the roundabout, in front of the city wall, is a cemetery named Trafalgar Cemetery. The Battle of Trafalgar in 1805 took place only 60 kilometers from here, between Tarifa and Cadiz. Most of the soldiers that died in this battle against the Napoleonic fleet after Baron Napier of Magdala. This battery was built between 1878 and 1884. In 1883 it mounted one of the two guns, the other being a Victoria battery. It took 21 days to be transported by special sleigh the mere 400 yards to its battery position. In 1898, during practice firing, the gun split and was replaced by the one from Victoria battery nearby.
Oops!
Please mind your heads. Low tunnel ceiling. As we exit the tunnel, to the right, you can see the entrance to the Bay of Gibraltar.
That's the Bay of
Straight
Gibraltar.
ahead, and weather permitting, you will see the coast of Africa and
Africa
Morocco.
we can't see.
The
Morocco is
mountain
that
that can be
way.
seen straight ahead is Monte Musa,
We
in
can't
North
see.
Africa, with a height of 851 m above sea level. On the right, across the sea, is the port of Algeciras, in Spain, one of the most important container ports in Europe. It has a large ferry terminal which provides connections to Tangiers and Ceuta.
Next, waterfall.
Part of the desalination plant inside the Rock of Gibraltar.
Yeah.
Saltwater residue, left over after
the
the
cameraman.
desalination process,
Don't worry.
comes out of the rock and goes back into the sea. Reverse osmosis is an expensive process, so we try not to waste fresh water.
Okay.
As a consequence, all toilets in Gibraltar are flushed with salt water. The majority of the tunnels were built between 1936 and 1945. As we leave the tunnel, we will be arriving at the second most southern point in Europe with a distance of 22 kilometers. You will also be able to see the Trinity Lighthouse erected in 1841. At Europa Point you will also find Sikorsky's Memorial. General Władysław Sikorski was the Polish and Prime Minister of the Polish government in exile. On the 4th of July, 1943, while returning from the Middle East, Sikorsky perished, together with his daughter Zofia, his chief of staff, Tadeusz Klimecki, and 7 others, when his aircraft, a Consolidated Liberator II, crashed into the sea 16 seconds after takeoff at Gibraltar Airport, with the plane's pilot being the only survivor. The catastrophe, officially classified as an accident, has led to several conspiracy theories that exist to this day, often proposed that the crash was an assassination, blamed on the Soviets, British, and even Nazis. The memorial displays one of the original propellers of the crashed Liberator aircraft, salvaged from the sea. When we come to a stop, we will have a 10-minute break, when you can disembark to enjoy the view.
Next. Queen's balcony.
The monkeys, the apes, they were brought here by the Moors in the year 711 as pets. And since then they've been here in the rock. But they are fed by the government. There's a private firm that works for the nature reserve and they feed them in the morning, they get fed in the morning and in the
The
evening.
numerous stalactites and stalagmites in the cave are formed by an accumulation of traces of dissolved rock, deposited by water dripping from the rock. The first factual description of the cave was written in 45 adopted by Panoramic in Algesir's Borneo region. That conquered the Rock of Gibraltar in the year 711 AD, when starting their conquest of the Iberian Peninsula and stayed in Gibraltar until 1465. The Moors originally brought these monkeys to Gibraltar as pets. However, some of the monkeys escaped from their owners, finding their new home in Gibraltar.
Okay, we're gonna stop here for 5 minutes photos. Only 5 minutes. You're gonna have a nice panoramic view of the Bay of Gibraltar and you can take some photos of the bay. Okay? No problem. I said to you after the house, you have to be good to try this in Gibraltar. Okay, what you do.
tunnel up there. I'll tell you about that later, okay? Let's move. We're gonna move now, start walking.
No problem with me. You've got a good driver. That's what my wife says. I'm a good driver. Listen, it's going to talk about the Moorish Castle. It was built in the year 1160 or earlier.
The site of the Moorish Castle was first built in 1160 or earlier. The Tower of Homage is the highest tower of the period of Islamic rule in the Iberian Peninsula, and the Kasbah of the castle is the largest in the area. It is therefore of historic significance, not only for Gibraltar and Iberia, but also for all of Western Europe. It is interesting to note that the courtyard of the Moorish Castle recently served as a prison, up until 2010.
Next, police.
An apartment, it depends on the area you buy it. As I said, the cost of living in Gibraltar is 3 times higher than in Spain. A 3-bedroom could cost you about £350,000, 400,000. £400,000. That's quite a lot. Boat service here, which John Lennon got married here, from the Beatles.